Following the massive and earth-shattering events of Avengers Infinity War, the MCU decided to take a little bit of a surprising turn. Instead of the cosmic aftermath we see for the Avengers, the MCU decided to give us what was going on for one of our favorite heroes, the Ant-Man. And in this movie, we get to see what happens to him during the events of Infinity War and what will lead to is the aftermath and will lead to Avengers Endgame. And not only this movie gave audiences something smaller, larger, and very deeply personal for all Marvel fans, especially for myself. What's going on, everybody? My name is Nate, and on this 41st episode, The Road to Avengers Doomsday, we're taking a look at Ant-Man and the Wasp, a fun, creative sequel to the 2015 film Ant-Man that explored family, redemption, and more of the quantum realm in a much better scale we see in the previous Ant-Man movie. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show as I take you very small down to Ant-Man and the Wasp. One of the things that makes the previous Ant-Man movie stand out in the MCU is the scale. They're not just about saving the universe. They're about family, mistakes, and ordinary people caught in extraordinary situations. And during Infinity War, that smaller tone felt refreshing. So, Paul Rudd returns as Ant-Man, aka Scott Lang, and honestly, Paul Rudd's charm carries these movies. Scott isn't the perfect hero. He's funny, awkward, and constantly trying to balance superhero life and being a good dad. And that relatability but what makes him likable. And as you can tell, as we see in the movie, Ant-Man's on house arrest following his side with Team Cap and Captain America Civil War. So he's got under a governmental watch. And the sequel only manages to introduce the Wasp herself, who's with returning actress Evangeline Lilly. And honestly, she steals a lot of great scenes. Hope Van Dyne is more skilled, more focused, and more than capable than Scott. The film treats them like true partners, which makes the action teamwork more fun to watch. One of the most important elements of the movie is the quantum realm. Previously teased in the first Ant-Man movie, the sequel explores so much deeply. It's mysterious, dangerous, and unlike anything else we've seen in the MCU. And at that time, audiences didn't fully understand just how important the quantum realm will become later on in some future Marvel films. And I also gotta give another good performance to acting for Michael Douglas's performance as Hank Pym. His acting is so good, and I just really like how he does the scenes of him just mentoring the two young heroes. And the emotional core movie revolves about rescuing Janet Van Dyne, played by Michelle Pfeiffer, who is not only Hope Van Dyne's mom, but is also the wife of Hank Pym, who got trapped in the quantum realm back in the 80s. And after when some crazy stuff happens, the family managed to bring back Janet Van Dyne, and her return brings so much emotional closure to Hank and Hope, and expands the MCU's understanding of the quantum realm itself. And the antagonist of the movie is Ghost, who is played brilliantly by Hannah John Kamen. And unlike many MCU villains, Ghost isn't truly evil. She's desperate. Her unstable phasing powers are literally tearing her apart, like being trapped like ribbons. And she's trying to survive. The cinematic angle makes her more interesting than a typical villain. The action at Ant-Man and the Wasp is incredible. Cars shrieking in the middle of chases, buildings being carried out by luggage, and the kitchen fight is pretty amazing, especially for the changing size. The movie constantly plays with scale and fun in innovative ways, and the humor, classic Ant-Man energy. Lighthearted without any losing emotional moments, and I really do love how this Ant-Man movie managed to balance humor with action and drama. And then there's the post-credits scene. Scott decides to enter the quantum realm for a second mission, but while that's happening, the snap happens. Hope, Hank, and Janet disappeared, and Scott is literally trapped inside with no way out. I mean, I remember watching this scene in a movie theater. I was with a friend of mine, and I'm like, yo, I really forgot about Infinity War, even though it's been a few months. And suddenly, this fun, smaller scale movie just connects directly back to the devastating ending of Avengers Infinity War. And just like that, the stakes become massive again. And it'll be a while before we see Ant-Man back since he'll return in Avengers Endgame. When Ant-Man and the Wasp was released in 2018, the film was praised for its humor, creativity, and its lighter tone. It may have not been the biggest MCU movie, but it became incredibly important to a larger story, especially because of the quantum realm. In conclusion, Ant-Man and the Wasp proved that not every Marvel movie needs giant battles to succeed. Sometimes the smaller stories are just as much. And on the road to Avengers Doomsday, the tiny adventure would end up having massive consequences. If you enjoyed this episode of Nate Reviews, make sure you give it a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and let me know down in the comments below. What's your favorite Ant-Man moment in this movie? But yeah, it'll really be appreciated if you guys subscribe. It really helps out my channel. It makes me do content like this every day. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a wonderful day, and peace out.